Riverside.
Tim, we are national champions. National
That's
champions.
Right. We, Kirkwood and Dunn, national champions. That's what it's all about. We did it.
We did it. We did it. We are the podcasts of the national championship team. Like,
Yep.
how
fact.
okay.
Confirmed fact.
Tim, where are we? What reality are we in? I'm hoping I'm reflecting. I'm super tired. Just got back from Miami today. I'm so tired. I hope I'm reflecting what a lot of Hoosiers are feeling right now. I know after the game when we were walking out, everyone's like, we're national champions. They just exclaimed. They're just in the concourse like, we're national champions. Like, what?
This is like, I feel like Curt Cignetti got all of the Infinity Stones and just snapped his fingers and was like, I'm in charge now. I run college football. All of you are like just peasants for me to play with. and that's what happened. Like, it's crazy that like we have a fully undefeated season to our name. Like, we will go like hundreds and hundreds of days from in between losing games. Like, it's beyond like magical. We have transcended into a new plane of existence. Like, we are in, I mean, we've said it like in so many different ways, but like, this is a new world of college football. Like, whatever you thought college football was, certainly pre-COVID or even like right after that, like, this is a brand new world. And in this world, Indiana football leads from the front and is a blue blood and is a powerhouse and is a favorite and is a national fucking champion.
You are listening to the Kirkwood Dunn podcast. And as you know, we have been on this ride, this journey with you as confident as possible. But even our confidence at 16-0, we have to stop and take it all in. I'm Trent.
And I'm Tim.
And follow us on Instagram for all these video clips that we've been putting out from the game, all that stuff. It's been fantastic. The bar scene on Twitter, if you follow us at Kirkwood and Dunn, TikTok, subscribe, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Tim, this is you put out. I just wanted, like, we're gonna reflect. Like, before the game, like, we got to just take a moment to reflect. And our fans, I met some fans, Tim, when I was there. Like, I was walking down Dan Marino Boulevard, and someone goes, "Go Hoosiers!" I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's go." And he goes, "Kirkwood and Dunn, right?" I'm like, "What?" Like, you're like, I have no idea who you are. Like, this is awesome.
Let's go. Hey, home field, we are looking for sponsors. Come on in, home field.
So like, I like that was really cool. That was a really cool moment for me, because it's not like, oh yeah, you get recognized, like that always feels good. It's because like people have been on this journey with us, whether it's through clips or like listening to our full episodes, and they know how confident we've been. And the best part is they've seen the reaction to our confidence from every fan base.
Yeah.
Ohio State, by the way, this is when we started clipping, was the Ohio State Big Ten title game. Alabama, Oregon, and Miami. And everyone mad at us all week, saying we're not, attacking everyone on Twitter, not just Kirkwood and Dunn. You're not football fans. You don't know football, buddy.
You just started watching football 2 years ago.
I've been watching college football my entire life. Yes, I was not born an Indiana fan. I had no connection to them whatsoever. I watched Kansas State lose to Texas A&M in 1998. I knew pain for a really long time. Yeah. I became an Indiana fan, and I absorbed their pain like a sponge. And to be here is just, it's as a college football fan, this is impossible. This does not happen. first time national champion since 1996.
Yeah,
96, Tim.
yeah. This is, um, trying to, like, put this in some context, and it's like, it does for our Indiana fan listeners, they kind of know the context. They're like, "Yeah, we know it wasn't very good. I never had to budget for bowl game travel." Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't a thing we had to do. They had to know. But I saw, one of my more recent favorite Indiana Twitter accounts, Indiana Edits, posted a thread just sort of like, "Hey, everybody just, like, chime in. What was your first, like, IU game? Like, what is it that you remember? Like, forget all these haters from Miami and Ohio State and Alabama and Oregon and anybody else. Like, what was that like?" And I had to go back and look. Because there's a part of it that I absolutely very vividly remember. It was October 22nd, 2005, freshman year Tim, which was a hoot. Freshman year Tim
This
went to
is
his first game.
pre-academic probation, Tim.
Oh, but well on his way to academic probation, Tim. Well on his way. We were playing at home. We were playing Ohio State. So I didn't buy like student season tickets because it was Indiana football. You just didn't do that. And we're playing Ohio State at home. I'll spare everybody the details. They don't need to go look it up. We lost 41-10. But more importantly, I stayed the whole effing game because I wanted to go look up when it was. And I watched in the fourth quarter, Indiana already down 34-10 at that point. Ted Ginn Jr. run back an Indiana punt for a touchdown, like 90 yards. And it was like watching the fucking Flash himself against that Indiana football team. And you just watch and you're like, oh, that's actually like a championship caliber team. Those are NFL players. This Indiana team is not that, whatever. And we watched the Indiana football program like really, get better ultimately over time. But it was lots of slow progress from 2005 to 2020, really for 100 years. And we felt like we were getting better a little bit, but it just seemed like the mountain would be so high to climb to really be at a national championship level. Seemed like a place that would, who knows how long it would take us to get there, but we would never probably really ever get there. So last night, like that's what I'm thinking about, which is what is that more than the like merch that I'm gonna end up buying, the apparel, the commemorative posters, all of that.
Anything that says commemorative right now, I've already bought. Like, I
Yeah.
just like commemorative, ding.
But what I'm thinking about is how Curt Cignetti has changed the way I watch Indiana football and will watch Indiana football. It is a different belief. It is a different, like, paradigm. It is a different way to think about what we are capable of. And it took somebody like him to shake us up. He did it when he walked out of that court in Assembly Hall, and he did it again last night in Miami. And all things are possible now.
Yeah, and someone said, "I wanna apologize to Indiana basketball fans that I have criticized about 1976, like, holding on to it so long because I'm gonna hold on to 2026 forever."
Yes.
That was on Twitter. I don't remember who said it, but I love that because it is so true. Like, I could very easily see myself in 30 years being like, "Well, why can't we win a national championship? We won in 2026." Like, that's
Yeah.
gonna be me after just months and, or maybe years of going through a dry spell or whatever. It's I sat there at the game and we're gonna talk about the game. Sitting there in the Miami section, we got in and we realized very quickly we were in the Miami, like, upper tier section,
Mhm.
which means it's probably the lower end of the season ticket holder fan base economic, uh, power,
Economic, yeah, yeah.
buying power, and it was rough. It was really rough. But after the game, I sat there. There's a few Miami fans that sat and were, like, just staring at the field, but I'm, like, sitting there, staring at it too, and as everyone knows, and it's been pointed out online this past week, I didn't grow up an Indiana fan, so I don't have the 2005 stories.
Right.
I have truly, like, my first Indiana football game was the 2017 Michigan Indiana overtime, Peyton Ramsey played, and they played lights out, and
Yeah.
again, another one that Indiana should have won. Like, how many times we had those moments of, like, we should have knocked off a blue blood. We didn't beat Harbaugh that year. And I that was my first experience. And then, of course, my wife and I went all in, and that's what led us to this road. But, so I have, like, these Tom Allen moments, and I have these, like, big stories of, Nick Sheridan and having to Tom Allen give part of his salary over. And I'm a college football junkie, and I'm like, this isn't how this is supposed to be ran. And I always believed that you could win here. I would walk into the Kelley School of Business where I was employed and then eventually going to school and say, like, I'm buying football season tickets. I think they're better than you all think they are, right? I've
Yeah.
seen bad football. I grew up going to KU games, like University of Kansas games, and it was like going to Indiana games. Like, it was bad football. What Tom Allen was putting down on the field wasn't bad football. It was just like it was
Not good.
right that 29 not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could be there. And so sitting there last night and in the seat was partly an Indiana fan, of course. Like, I've emotionally invested in this group. But also it was a college football fan going, how many times have we talked about in the last 15 years that Oregon, Phil Knight, Nike Money Oregon, was going to be the first team on the doorstep to win that first national title in the BCS era that had never won before?
Yeah.
How many times had we seen the SEC dominate, but everyone shut the hell up about the SEC dominating because it really was only Georgia, LSU, Alabama, and then Auburn. Like, it was like that was
Yeah.
it. Like, it wasn't really the SEC dominating. And yeah, I know I didn't say Florida. But like it was like these big powerhouse schools that had always been there and did doing their thing. So it just you're right. He changed everything. Curt Cignetti changed everything, and everything for the better. And we're gonna be here, and we're gonna be loud and proud. And I am not one. If you have been a longtime Indiana basketball fan and didn't watch football, like, I don't care. Come on in. Come on in.
Sure. Yeah.
Just donate. Donate, buy season
Right.
tickets, like, buy the gear. Like, I don't care. Like, take them, claim them. This is what college sports is all about. It's part of your identity. If you didn't go to school at Indiana, I don't care. Notre Dame's been thriving as a program for years with no one going to school there and rooting for them. Like, you can root for us too. The tent is huge for Indiana football, and I think it just needed an expansion last night because we need as many fans to keep this thing rolling and
Yeah.
become the cool school and build identity, because Tim said it on last pod and this got clipped. Buddy, Curt Cignetti just did that last night with 0 to 3-star transfers. Go look at Steve Wiltfong,
Yep.
what these big recruits are saying about Indiana.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Now
it
he's gonna
is
cook with
it
gas, and now we're really gonna go
yeah.
some places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know what? It's not even just like one team, like, overcoming all more talented teams. Can you imagine him, like, getting talent, like NFL talent guys, and building a team like that? Like, goodbye 2019 LSU. Like,
Right.
you're gonna get cooked.
The last thing my, like, big picture sort of thought on what it all sort of means, I think when we started the season, really before the season, before the Old Dominion game, we're kinda just doing preview pods and, um, talking about things. One of the things that was brought up, I'm sure I talked about it, you talked about it, but in a different sense because you would have been angry at people, was how important this season would have been to cementing momentum. That we
Yeah.
couldn't have let the 2024 season be this sort of like one, flare of a year where, oh, that was cool. And yeah, the schedule broke our way and, injury luck. And yeah, we lost in the playoffs, but hey, it was to the national championship game, guys. And like, that was fun. That was good. And then if we were to regress this year, it'd be like, well, yeah, maybe we could
Yeah.
have that year again. Maybe, who knows? But then the donations wouldn't come in. The attendance would kind of go back down. blah, 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 blah. And we would all be talking about Darren DeVries and whether or not he can get a big man to clog up the paint. Like that's what we were worried about of what the expectations were for this team and what they could do. And didn't they just blew right past that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I think my like final preview prediction was 9-3.
Mhm.
Being like, yeah, I think the team's pretty good, and I think these transfers will figure it out, but like maybe it takes some time, and we have a tough early road game. We'll see how it goes. And when I left the bar last night and made it home and was just hitting reply to every hurricane that I could find from my mentions from the last 10 days, which is just the best feeling in the world. My final feeling at like 1:30 in the morning was, yes, I did predict that Indiana's going to win 3 of the next 4 national titles. Well, there's one. Check. Check. Now we just need to go 2 for 3. That's it. But Indiana, barring something crazy happening like over the next few years in the Curt Cignetti era, Indiana's never getting blown out of a football game. Like I I feel very confident about like we are not going to have some 41-10 Ohio State kicking our ass type of a game where we look outclassed and whatever else. Like
Yeah.
this is the momentum is now like not something that can be stopped. Like maybe we won't win 3 straight national titles, who knows. But like I'm going to be surprised if this team doesn't make the playoffs next year. Like, I think that would be a disappointing season given the talent that's coming in, all that sort of stuff. Like, so to put myself in a place where I know that I can turn on Indiana football any Saturday next year, and at worst, it could be a competitive game that we maybe lose by a touchdown, maybe even 2. But like we are the experience where we would have in the past of like looking at a schedule and going like, oh, at Michigan, at Ohio State, well, those are 40-point losses. Like I'm not even gonna bother. Maybe I'll watch the at Minnesota game. Maybe we could pull that off. Like that's not gonna be the experience next year. It's not gonna be the experience going forward. Like Cignetti has got this thing finely tuned, and he's figured out the puzzle pieces of roster management, and now he's really going to get resources. Like
Yeah.
Cuban said it last night. He's like, guys, I'm not the biggest donor. I barely kind of gave some you know, and we're going to figure out some things, but like, this is what he did with 0 and 3 stars with like a top 20 NIL budget, not a top 5.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm with you. This is an incredible time to be an Indiana fan. I don't care if you did start the last few years and you weren't there in 2005 watching Ted Ginn boat race us to the end zone.
Do not care.
Fine. Yeah, I don't wish that upon anybody because it fucking sucked. It sucked. Going 4 overtimes against Akron sucked. Losing to Ball
Yeah.
fucking State sucked. Let's enjoy the good times, baby. Let's keep the booze flowing. I'm ready to go.
And we know there are a lot of fans that were there and they're watching just like Tim or even before Tim. Like we have some fans that were watching the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, like all through these eras. And that win last night is definitely special. Like it is so special for them. Like people have passed on that would have enjoyed what just happened last night. We're lucky to be living in the timeline and be alive of this Indiana, this Curt Cignetti. And Tim, to your point, it is the transfer portal era is going to be an interesting one, and we'll have the off season. And don't worry, Kirkwood and Dunn, as long as I'm have a pulse and I'm part of this, we will be talking football. So it's going to be a lot of
Yeah,
coverage about
what our new listeners maybe don't yet realize
yeah,
is that Trent arguably loves off-season football more than he loves in-season football.
preach,
Coaching carousel, transfer portal,
yeah,
spring games,
yeah,
like the whole 9 yards. So like if you think
yeah,
content was going to slow down, no. Trent's
uh-uh.
going to be we're going to be picking it up in the
Yeah.
off-season.
Again, this is what's so like the whole thing to you and I that people are like, you just started watching football a couple of years ago is hilarious to me because how much you and I watch football outside of that. And it just goes to show you that the Miami fan, the Alabama fan, sometimes the Oregon fan, the Ohio State fan that would yell that at us, you guys only watch your team. And
Yeah.
that's sad. Like, you only watch this because your team has been historically good.
Yeah.
We watch this because the love of ball.
Yeah.
And so
Truly
and we just
true ball
emotionally
knower
invested in
stuff.
this Indiana team. Like, that's what we did. Like, it is the case. So, it is, Tim, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, let's talk about last night. About last night.
Yeah.
Those that are watching on the video right now, you're watching me rub my eyes because I am, like, sleep deprived. I'm sure most of you laid in bed watching every clip. I've seen the Fernando Mendoza touchdown clip 10,000 times and from probably 11,000 angles. I don't know how that's possible, but
Do you have
that's
a
the feel like.
favorite, like, audio overlay of it? Because I'll tell you mine is a mixture with, Like a Prayer by Madonna,
Yeah,
and it's just,
yeah.
oh, I wanna how do I get that on a video loop just playing in my living room at all times? Like, I wanna
Tim,
start
you know
off
what?
every day with like, I want that to be my alarm clock.
I use Like a Prayer for, the Dylan Thieneman, honorary video.
Yeah.
I have that sound if you want me to do that for you. Um, what is my favorite? Fowler's pretty good
Yeah.
because Fowler goes, he's gonna be first and goal, oh my, and a
Have you
touchdown,
seen
like
the edit with where it's
yes,
2 screens, where
yes.
it's the booth,
Yeah,
the video of Herb Street and Fowler calling it?
yeah.
I wanna encourage our listeners to go find that, look that up
Go
on
watch it
social
right
media.
now.
It's you're
Yeah.
watching 2 video feeds. One is the actual play itself, but then a video feed of the booth of Herb Street and Fowler calling that play, and you can
Mm.
see their reactions in real time about what an incredible play that was.
Go to @Kirkwood and Dunn, the Instagram. It's on our story right now because I mean, you can see Kirk Herbstreit's face. Like, it is if you're listening to the audio version of this, you can't see me, like, do it, so sorry for the bad podcasting, but, like, he's just like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
It was it's fantastic. Unfortunately, the worst clip could be Don Fisher. Because Don Fisher thought he was throwing. Like, I think probably I mean,
He just
who
missed,
knows where they
yeah.
put the Indiana radio booth, but he's like he thought he threw the ball. He's like, "And Fernando threw the ball," and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's
no,
tough.
man. He's already on the 5-yard line." Like, he's,
Yeah.
like, moving down the field.
Congrats on
But
Don,
Don
but
Fi
his Don Fisher's final call of the interception is great. So,
Oh, yeah, and
that's
his
great.
sign off, like,
You
yeah,
redeemed
like
yourself, Don Fisher. You
yeah,
deserve it,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it was great. No, that clip is there. So, okay, we're at the game, and Tim, I can't the cultural difference between every away game I've gone to and the Miami away game, and they'll be that's not diss, they very much proud of that, is just stark. It's stark. It is one of those that it's like, I I've not experienced anything like this before. I've not experienced fans like that before. Like, whenever I live up here in Ann Arbor, and Walmart Wolverines is a big thing up here. Well, Publix, my Hurricane fans are true to form. Like,
Yeah.
it's like everything you've heard about the Raider games, it's like kinda like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And it just isn't what I'm used to in college football, which good. Like, I love diversity of especially cultures and, like, things coming together to root for college football, that's a good thing. But, man, they were, some of the rudest fans that we've,
Yeah.
experienced and kinda nasty. Luckily, in my section, they were pretty great. My wife didn't get in a fight. I was very worried about that. She almost got in a fight in Nebraska, so if she's getting in a fight in Nebraska, I was definitely worried she's gonna get in a fight at Miami. Um but one of my favorite moments, I had 2 moments I wanted to share with everybody. One, we got in there super early, security line was as bad as advertised. That we were like the 15th person through the line. Like, we were like,
Wow.
we have to, like, get in there early. So we took 3 hours to hang out in the stadium. Um, but we're walking out of our hotel going to get food, and there's a guy who's sitting at the intersection. We're all in Indiana stuff, and he is turning left, and he's going like 40 miles an hour, and he takes his hands off the wheel, and he goes, "You guys are gonna get it tonight. Hurricanes, blah, blah, like the U is back, and he's leaning out his car, turning 40 miles an hour, and like we're this is not by the stadium. This is Broward County by the Gulfstream racetrack, and we're just
Yeah.
wearing Indiana hats. And we're like, what you almost killed
Uh,
somebody. Like somebody was like
man,
over there.
that's the
That
best.
was
Man, what
yeah.
FOMO do I have? Not only have FOMO, of course, like missing the
Oh no,
game and
Tim, you
everything
couldn't
else,
have been there. I would not have
but
sat with you. You would have got us shanked.
I yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
the sort of like fish out of water look of the wholesome Midwesterner Trent, like from
Yeah.
Kansas City via
Oh
Indiana
yeah.
to Michigan, travels to Big Ten road games, and then South Beach and Broward County.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, what a sight to see. And yes, I would have absolutely listen, because as has become known, like I have no problem taking the shit talking that I do on this podcast and saying it
Yeah.
right to a motherfucker's face. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that probably would have been bad news for me, but I would not have backed down. But yeah, I could imagine just the sights and scenes while you were in Miami, just totally different and unlike anything else in college football.
The other thing was Miami as the stadium, Hard Rock Stadium, and those that went to the game know this, is so poorly designed. It's not only it's out there and far away from everything. Like Miami is a terrible host city. Their airport sucks, traffic is terrible, everything's spread out. Miami Gardens is definitely not in a garden. And the Hard Rock Stadium that's there and like trying to get there. And they built a F1 track around the stadium. And so the barriers and stuff are just awful to get through. And then added security with the Trump arriving made that even worse. But getting in and out of there, there's no good mass transit. There's no good this stuff. They cut down roads and which way is going, just like normal stadium events. But this one's like notoriously pretty bad. So, listener of the podcast, our friend Wes, who was kind of organizing that part of the trip for us, texted me the night before and he's like, "Buddy, uh, I got us a private car. Do you want X amount of dollars? We'll do this." By the way, I'm gonna do a whole video on how much everything cost me for this trip. So I will tell you that later. No spoilers. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, that sounds good. Like it's in and out. And so we get pulled up, and there's 5 seats, 6 seats in the car, and there's this random Indiana couple. If they're Kirkwood and Dunn listeners, I'm sorry, but there's this random Indiana couple. There's two people that I don't know. Wes doesn't know. He met him at the bar the night before, so like we knew we were ride sharing. And our guy pulls up, and he is. I don't even know how to describe him on the podcast without turning off some of our listeners. So like we're just gonna say he is an older gentleman who has very, very strong opinions about certain things going on in,
in
Miami
the
and America.
in the non-college football world.
Yes, and
That's like, I
he
mean, but
did not
also that's also like any Uber driver anywhere. Truly though.
100%. And so then there's this couple that their Uber driver did a ghost Uber where it said pick them up and then, like, drove them and then
Yeah.
charged them even though they weren't in the car,
Yeah.
and, he offered them a ride. And so we, like, get in, we're, like, ass to ankles packed into the back of this van. This guy is driving us, and he is not looking. He's telling us to add his number and to get our numbers for after the game. He's gonna pick us up. And so he's, like, staring at his phone, driving into oncoming traffic. In the meantime, talking to us about, just races of people
Yeah.
and and how the stadium has ruined everything and how the federal government shut down filling in the Everglades and, like, all this stuff. Man, Tim, it was a cultural experience. Like, my wife got out of the car, Marissa, and she looks at me and she goes, "I said I wanted a Florida experience, like the stereotypical Florida experience. I just got it." Like,
Oh
that was
yeah.
totally it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we walk out and it's there. So the game itself, I kept saying it was 50-50, but the broadcast, I watched the broadcast today. They said it was majority Hoosier fans. It's so hard to tell in those
I
angles,
think it
and I
was
don't know how many.
a good
Yeah,
lean. Like
yeah,
it wasn't dominating like the Peach Bowl or even like the Rose
no,
Bowl,
yeah,
but a good lean, but, like, there was plenty of Miami fans there, for sure.
Miami's band sucks. Their, like, chants and stuff are terrible. The things that they yell, like, the "spot the ball," "lace 'em up," like, they would yell that, like,
Oh.
next to us, like, that type of thing.
Oh, man, that's
Again,
not
they
just a dumb Twitter Miami fan, that's, like, their actual thing when they're in the stands, like,
well, I think the
"Spot
dumb
the
Twitter
ball!"
Miami fans were kind of in our
They're
section,
also
to
about
my
the same.
point
Okay, yeah,
earlier.
yeah, fair, fair, fair.
Yeah. But, I mean, and if you're a Miami fan listening to this, I don't know why, but and you were in my section, the people around us were very nice. They thought everything was a penalty, which is ironic since they watch penalties all year long.
Yeah.
And it it was just typical fan behavior, like, it's nothing they didn't attack us, and we didn't attack them, so, like, it wasn't, like, unbearable, because especially since I think my wife would have gotten in a fight. So, the environment's there. Every dollar I spent, and I spent on those tickets north of, $5,000.
For 2.
Worth it. For 2. Yeah,
Yeah,
worth it. Worth it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was it was incredible. Like, I wouldn't take anything back. I texted you before the game, I said, "This is either gonna be the worst time of my life being in the Miami section if Miami upsets Indiana, or the funniest time of my life," because at that point, I still thought we were gonna blow them out.
yeah.
It was like, it was the most nerve-wracking of my life because I thought the first was gonna happen a couple times, and especially late. This and then when we won and watched them all leave and still be there and cheering and crying in the middle of their section was pretty legit. So, that was the game environment. I think it was, uh I bet you the Indiana fan, if you're listening to this and you're at the game and you're on the Indiana side, it was a totally different experience than what I experienced, but it was still a communal experience there. How was Indy? How was the bars? How early did you have to get into the bars?
It was good. We ended up getting out, I think, a little after 4, just sort of right around after 4. Wanted to make sure we had options just in case. Um, some places had, like, reservations and, like, places that don't typically do reservations were all of a sudden doing reservations, and, like, you had to pay for a table type of a thing, like it was a fucking club. But,
Yeah.
it's okay, we found a great spot, and then it wasn't there was, some buzz, but it was honestly there was more buzz, I think, the day before, just kind of walking up and down and around, but, like, the morning of on Monday, it's like, I think everybody was inside, like, waiting, it
Yeah.
was I was out running an errand, and then, like, it was, like, maybe noon, and I was like, "Oh, there's nobody out right now," which it felt like everybody was waiting for the storm to descend. Um, it was, I think, a really great scene. I mean, obviously, it was all IU fans and people were cheering for the team, whatever else. I was waiting to find a Purdue fan downtown Indianapolis. And, like, who's gonna be so bold to be fucking out about, like, I was hoping to find one of those, did not
Yeah.
find one. But it was a really good vibe and scene. I think over these 3 weeks, like, the Rose Bowl was really exciting. I was not here for the Beach Bowl because we went, of course. We're at the Big Ten championship game. Like, I think there is real strong fan momentum, which
Yeah,
really hasn't
I
exist
agree.
like, it hasn't existed, not even just, like, I think for Indiana, I think we'll see some quote unquote bandwagon fans come along, but the reality is, like, Purdue football stinks to high heaven and is not gonna be good anytime soon. The Colts are kind of whatever. They were pinning their hopes on Daniel Jones and yeah, something like that. So, like, if you're interested in good football, I mean, you could try to make your way up to South Bend, but, like, everybody knows those guys are just losers. They don't even wanna play in the Pop-Tart Bowl. So, we have a national champion right there in Bloomington. Let's head on down. So, I'm really excited, I think, for what the overall fan experience is like here within the state, in Indy, in Bloomington, at games, at tailgates, lots of other things. I'll be really interested to see. This would be great, like, off-season content, but, like, how does IU broadly, but even more specifically the athletics, like, really try to capitalize on this?
Yeah.
Because it was one thing to capitalize on the, like, "Oh, we made the playoff last year. How about that? 10-win season. Hey, hey, hey." Now we just went really to the right to the top of the mountain, like, so
Top.
what changes in the game day experience? What changes with tailgating? What
Mhm.
changes with people getting off of work or not? Or, like, all of the things that change economically, you know, like
Mhm.
I'm really excited to see how the next season goes, but also how that changes culturally. I think within the state will be really interesting.
Well, if we have time, let's talk a little bit about that after we talk about the game, because I
Yes.
I do think, like, there's gonna be growing pains coming, and Tim and I will talk about the growing pains in the future, just because this podcast is totally focused on, celebrating our win. Yeah, it's gonna change. Things are gonna change. It already had been changing to your point, and now a lot of people, especially people that were like, I I would have probably been in this category. Don't really care about Indiana basketball. Don't just because I don't like college basketball, just so everyone doesn't get offended. I'm a football person through and through, and I was buying like season tickets and the club seats and stuff like that. Those I would have probably 10x'd my cost of those seats probably at this point. Like that's like, and I would have felt the need to complain about it. But it's just like this is the reality of being a good football team, and people wanting tickets, demand, like, and that's what is probably going to people experience. All right, let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
Tim, hand up. We were wrong about a blowout.
Yeah.
Hand up.
Yeah. Not great.
Like, you know what? Am I going to apologize for that? No, I'm not. Because
No, we don't apologize.
Indiana, one of the things we said is that Indiana was going to have to beat themselves for Miami to win.
Yeah.
And I'm giving Miami the credit. Miami put Indiana in a situation where they were going to beat themselves. Like they were trying their best at times. When you've got Elijah Surratt, not only just not catching a contested catch, like he had a couple, which you could argue were pass interference, but we had a couple that, borderline, they were letting them play. That's the reality of it. But Surratt's dropping
Yeah.
wide open balls twice
Yeah.
on the same play.
Yep.
It is, it is, I thought at that point, here it is. This is it. This is the Yeah, I mean, relating it back to basketball, it's the guy that's hot from 3, and even though you have your hand in your face and he's in assembly hall and all of a sudden he's going 9 for 10 and you're like, "Where did this come from?" Like, it's their night. How many times have we said that in sports? Like, it's just their night. I thought that when Surratt dropped the ball. But give Miami credit for torturing our right side of our line. Carter Smith kinda got blown up as well.
Everybody
Like, it was not
everybody got their ass kicked.
everybody got a taste of it. Pat Coogan said it was the best defensive line they've played all
Yep.
year. And
Easy.
and credit to Miami fans who were yelling that in our faces. And we were talking about the simplified offense because their dudes just think that they can overcome and beat whatever dudes across they could. They they
Yeah.
they did that night, and credit for them.
I really
I'm gonna let
thought
you have some comments here because we're
I
gonna get into
do.
the other
Yeah,
side of
yeah.
your
Because it
coin.
was like we were doing the like, all right, how does Miami win? How does IU win? How do we think the game goes? Yeah, I think one of the things I said a lot of I think there was a good world where I said like, hey, the first quarter could be a slow start. And it's prone to giving up a long drive out of the gate, it's trying to see what an offense is doing. Our own offense sometimes can be not great. That's what it was against Alabama. But ultimately, like the coaching settles in, the team and the players settle in. They see what's happening, they problem solve, and then they go out and execute the final three quarters, especially the second half, and they pull away. And they boa constrict you, anaconda, like whatever
Yeah.
snake euphemism you want to use, they suffocate you. I became really worried. I mean, I wasn't thrilled that it was only sort of 10-0. There was not great penalties. The refs are a different thing. I became most worried about our usage of timeouts or lack thereof right at the end of the first half as Miami missed a field goal. And we have seconds left. And we walked into halftime with a timeout still available to us. And we
Yeah.
had a really important chance. This is a real common thing in the NFL where, like, if a team is able to, if they know they're getting the ball first in the second half, you basically are double dipping on those possessions. And you can create real momentum, but also like score disparity by going
Mhm.
basically back to back. And I was like, not only do I think we're going to come out of halftime really well and hopefully scored like a touchdown, but like we could have absolutely gotten a field goal. This game could have been 20-0 right away, and it would have been absolutely over. But we're not calling a timeout. We're sort of playing a chicken and egg. And I think what happened was, um, it was really interesting. It was brought up on Twitter and some other places that other folks are hearing. Miami early in that game goes for it on 4th down on, like, their own 35, which I was like, "Oh, okay, Mario, that takes
Mario.
some big
Yeah.
testicles to do that." But I thought it was quasi sort of smart, like, you're recognizing how
No, it
important it
was smart.
is to do those things.
Yeah.
So then I think what happened was Cignetti was getting down there because I think it was a little bit longer. I think it was more like a 4th and 5 or something. And I think Cignetti's going like, I think he's gonna go for it again. Like, I'm not gonna use these timeouts here to give them more time. And then they both kind of did a Spider-Man meme pointing at each other of who's gonna call the timeout. And then ultimately the clock sort of runs down. And so that was going into halftime was when I was like, I don't know if we're actually coaching at the high level that I thought we would be. It was one thing for certain players or whatever else. And that was my first like, oh, I think we're in for an Ohio State type of a game, not a Oregon, Alabama, not even a blowout, but just sort of a pull away game, a Wisconsin game that like didn't look kind of great at times, but like we just ultimately pull away. Um, that's when I was like first worried.
Yeah, so I will actually take it a step further. It wasn't so much the not calling timeout on the 4th, 3rd down or whatever that late wasted clock. It was like getting the ball back and then you ran the ball
Yeah.
with like 30 seconds left and then you didn't call a timeout and then you laid down. Then you tried to pass and you made like a considerable like gainage and you're like, it's now 3
Oh,
seconds, 5 seconds, and you're like, you could have easily gotten a field goal range. Like, I it
well, we had a
is
much better chance
a
than
much better
yeah.
chance. So I'm with you on that. I need Curt Cignetti to take some reps in the offseason about like those late game coachings. You can't. It's hard to say this on a podcast. Like I know Pitt Hoosier is going to listen to us and be like, "You guys are being negative," and like we were after the Penn State game, which was
We
fair.
just
We
won the
were being
national
negative.
title.
Yeah, we just won the national title, but it's like we've been watching football a long time. Those things do matter, and those do catch up with you. It's things that we give Mario a hard time about, and like
Yeah.
Mario the funniest thing is Mario did do the right thing by going for that 4th down, and then he goes down and doesn't go for it and kicks a field goal and misses. So, like,
Yep.
that's the Mario Cristobal experience that I know and love. Okay, let's flip it on the other side and talk about what Indiana did well. Indiana had a win expectancy, and if you wanna explain what that is, that'd be great because 'cause I'm not a math guy, but at 14.8%. Like, they were not supposed to win that game according to the numbers.
Yeah, win expectancy is a ESPN S&P Plus stat. Really, the analytical model really what it tries to do is say, okay, now that we know all of the things that did happen in the game, when those things happen, how really often should Team A or Team B have won? Um, Now, that's a little too I think wide brush in to some degree because, well, all the things that happened added up to Indiana winning the game. So the win expectancy should be 100%. That's not really exactly what it is, but
Yeah,
the S&P Plus number came back at 14 some percent. If that does mean that like basically 14% of the time Indiana would have won that game, the other 80 some is Miami. And that's because, yeah, like Anita was not good,
not
especially
good.
offensively, like very much not good. And Miami made a lot of mistakes, which we did say, like, that's what we were
Yeah,
kind of what buoyed our confidence was they make tons of penalties. Carson Beck turns the ball over, as he did again to end the game. Like Mario Cristobal, decisions didn't go for it on 4th down, but instead tried to kick a field goal. They miss it, right? Like these things add up time and time again. Um, but Indiana was bad. Like we could not run the ball. We kind of could pass it a little bit, but it sort of depended sometimes. We would have very negative plays. It wasn't just that we couldn't run the ball and it would be like no gain or 2 yards. There were a few of those runs that was like, oh, this got blown up for a 5-yard loss. And now we're
yeah.
in
I,
second
I'll
and
push back a little
15.
bit. Like you go look at the stats. Like we ran the ball pretty well. You're right. We did have like some negative plays, but like Kalon Black had himself a
Kalen
game.
Black ran the ball really well. I don't think Roman
Roman
Hemby ran
Hemby
the
in the
ball
first
very
half
well.
did not. Roman Hemby
Yeah.
ended up with like 75 yards though, which was crazy to me when I saw that.
Kalen Black ran up with 75. It was like,
Oh, I thought then they had
no,
the stats wrong in the stadium.
yes, it was Kalon had like 80 and then Roman had like 50, 49, something like that.
Okay. They had
But
the wrong stats were on the same, but so
either
wrong
way,
face.
yeah, but Kalon had like a couple nice, really big runs, and Roman had like a few too. But it was like in other games that Indiana has played this year, the running game was always, I
Yeah.
think, like a pretty good positive. We got
Mhm.
ourselves to like 3rd and 4 all the time. And now we found ourselves in 2nd and 10, 3rd and 9, like 3rd and 13. Like we found ourselves in some bad spots, and that really changed the game a lot.
And Malachi Tony, like, he is everything as advertised,
Yeah.
but I think Indiana actually did pretty well on him.
I
Like,
think they did
it
too.
yeah,
Like
it was not like, if you think about it, Miami's scores, they had the Fletcher touchdown, good for him. Like, he Aiden
it
Fisher
was a
got
good
caught up in
run.
the Aiden Fisher got caught up in the wash. I didn't actually see any holds or anything like I've seen on some other big plays for us this year. Like, it was a good run. He did well. Other than that, Fletcher was not very good. I
No,
like
they did a good job. They mostly bottled up.
yeah,
I thought it was really interesting. The Indiana defensive line. We after Stephen Daly goes down, we said like, hey, I think this is probably going to be more matchup dependent about what if it's
yeah,
another person, if whatever. And I've done the rewatch of the first half. I have not done the second half. The defensive alignment was 3 defensive linemen, 3 down linemen, very tight splits, like right over the guard and the center, which you would typically see in like a goal line kind of a scenario, whatever else. Miami has big offensive tackles. And then what we were doing was it'd either be Mikhail Kamara, it would maybe be Bones Jones, somebody else sort of rotating on the edges to basically force Fletcher out into space and not get behind the offensive line. So I thought the defense was really excellent everywhere, all the way around. I thought the secondary played well. At times they were able to make some plays, like Tony is fast and whatever. And every once in a while there was the big Tony catch was an odd miscommunication.
yeah.
Somebody was dropping and then they thought they were staying in the flat or whatever, and they didn't, and it was a miscommunication. But I thought the defense was really really sound the entire game overall. And we really made Carson Beck have to go up and down that field. And guess what? Most of the time he couldn't do it.
They were really sound, but it was their worst performance of the year.
Yes.
Like,
But
it just was.
yeah.
I it and then this is I started this by saying the winning expectancy 14% because Indiana played on paper, they played their worst game of the year, and they won the national championship.
Yeah.
Like, let's not forget that. Like, that's where, like, yeah, I could rip this apart, and this was a regular season game. Tim and I would be unpacking this game, just like we did the Penn State game, and just being like, "Well, they gotta get better here if they expect to win a national championship." I mean, that was the whole narrative around the Penn State game. It's like, "Hey, you can't win a national championship playing like that." Right?
Yeah.
And this one, I would do that too. You can't win a national championship if you play like that. Wait, we won a national championship.
We
Like,
still did.
we played our worst game. Miami played a very good game for Miami. Now, Carson Beck was still that. We have his own special segment on Carson Beck. But like it we still won. We still won. And like that's crazy. And fine. I am ready. Like it is what Fernando Mendoza and this team has been doing all year. And Charlie Becker, like
Oh,
Elijah Surratt wasn't very good. We covered this. And that's okay because he's been phenomenal until this point. He had one bad game. That happens. They're human. Charlie Becker goes, I got you, brother.
yeah.
And like just
Omar
like
Cooper had a great game.
Omar Cooper. Like, the wide receiver screens actually worked. Like, Jeremy, one of our listeners who texts me all the time about the wide receiver screens, he forgot to text me about those wide receiver screens working last night. Like, it was a Riley Nowakowski. We mentioned
That's a
Riley
good game.
Nowakowski and are like, they have weapons all over the field. Yes, we said special teams could be a difference in this game. It was a difference in this game. We had another block punt, our second one. The first time in college football playoff history, a touchdown resulted from a block punt. Like, this team does those little things. And uncharacteristically, the roughing the passer on the last drive of Carson Beck to give him 15 more yards. Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible decision. I don't care if you think that was a right call or not. It's Carson Beck. Let him throw the ball. You don't have to hit him. Like, he's gonna miss the guy. He did miss the guy. He got the ball off cleanly and still missed the guy. And then you get the roughing the passer. And then the worst one, and I'm so glad it didn't end up burning us, but the Carter Smith false start on
Yeah,
2nd and 1 could have cost us a national championship.
absolutely. Right
It
there.
coulda. And it is one of those things that we could always be looking back at that and just being like,
What
that
if?
that that was it, and
That's
that
and
poor
but that's
kid.
what Miami's doing right now. Miami's looking back at this game going,
Yeah,
"Oh, what if? What if we just not even block Mikhail Kamara on the block punt, but like just get a hand? Like,
yeah.
all it takes is a small delay to change those things." And but that was what we were saying previewing this game a little bit. But I think it's the hallmark of the Curt Cignetti era, which is football is a game of inches. It's often a lot about a little bit of this player, that player. Oops, one small mistake by this guy or this guy. But more often than not, when those situations come up, play after play after play, Curt Cignetti and this staff have coached this team to execute
Yeah.
flat out. And yeah, that doesn't mean it's 100%. They make some mistakes, but IU only has 5 penalties compared to Miami's 7. Huge, right?
Yep.
IU doesn't miss a block on a punt when they're punting,
Mhm.
right? Like all of those things. Though every play matters, and this coaching staff has proven that they can get any caliber of player to play. I wouldn't even say like mistake free, but really, really sound football, and that gives us a great chance of winning every single game.
Miami's defense coordinator after the game said they knew exactly what they were trying to do on the 4th and 4, that Mendoza scored the game-winning touchdown on, um, and they couldn't communicate it. They
Yeah,
had a whole they had a whole timeout before that.
I think
Like,
that was a lot of revisionist history by Corey Edelman. I think in a huge way.
I'm just trying to paint a picture of this coaching staff just being better
It
than
is
Miami's
because
coaching
I was
staff.
really shocked, right? Like, why are we not kicking a field goal? Radicic has been great. We're down close. Like, this should be, let's put 3 points on the board and make Carson Beck get a touchdown here for this drive. But like what Signetti said too was like, we saw a look on 2nd down. We thought we were pretty confident about what the look was going to be on 3rd down. We got it, right? So they're like projecting it. They see it. We end up not getting enough yardage, whatever, for 3rd down to come through. And then, he runs out the field goal unit, but he goes, I think I know what they're going to do.
He said
If
it didn't
we,
feel right.
it
Like,
didn't feel
how
right.
that's an
He said,
amazing statement.
we're
Yes.
going for it. I know what they're going to do. So now that I've seen what they are going to do, I know the play that's going to beat it. So Corey, I don't really feel you were kind of bullshit because Curt Cignetti had you dialed in. You know what I mean? He knew the pass rush that was going to be coming, called the play. Fernando ran it. Like, that's the difference.
And
That's the
also,
coaching.
like,
That's why we pay Curt Cignetti, Indiana fans, the best and top money in all of college fucking football. It is that
up
fucking reason right there.
hand up, Tim, we were both yelling, like, "Timeout," like, "Why are we wasting timeouts?" Like, well, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't make that decision not to kick a field goal before, and then it's there. Like, there was on the 4th down before that, we, like, took forever to get a play in and all this stuff. Like, yes, those are things I wish Signetti would clean up. But, like, the other side of the coin is the DC is saying post-revisionist history, we knew what was coming, we tried to communicate, we couldn't get it in. Well, use a timeout, dumbass.
Yeah.
Like this is the biggest play of the game, and you act like you know what's happening and you're not lined up correctly, and you didn't use a timeout, then you should be fired. Or Mario Cristobal, if he didn't take the timeout when you're yelling, take a timeout, we're not ready, then he should be fired. Curt Cignetti let Bryant Haynes take a timeout with 3rd and 27 against Ohio State because we weren't lined up
Yes.
correctly.
Oh,
Like,
God.
like that is the difference between an elite coach and then whatever Mario Cristobal is in game. Like,
Yeah.
and so Miami fans, like, we had a Miami fan come online today to like tell us, oh, Miami played closer than you thought, huh? Loser behavior. You are a loser, sir.
Congrats on covering the spread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are a loser. Your coach if he is using those same excuses, is a loser. Your star running back who's trying to punch with a helmet on our defensive tackle after the game is a loser. You
Yeah.
are losers. You're a loser program. It is just it's that type of thing that Curt Cignetti does so much more than everyone else. And we have it in Bloomington forever.
Yeah.
Well, not
Yes.
forever. Hopefully AI figures it out and keeps Cignetti alive forever, but forever.
For seemingly for as long as we wanted to, because
Yes.
Cignetti said before the game, like, all those NFL rumors are dumb. I'm not coaching the NFL. I'm
Yes.
a college football guy. And now he's getting paid like it. He's got every resource possible. He is the king of the town. He runs whatever it is that he wants to do, and God bless him. I am willing to let him do it. The Lord is my shepherd, and I am his disciple.
Speaking of being blessed, we got to go up against Carson Beck in the national title game.
Oh, that's the best part. That was for as much as we could have did a whole preview pod, and we did, and like the analytical matchup, whatever else. Folks, we got to play Carson Beck for the right to be national champions. Like, how lucky are we? How lucky are we? His noodle arm could not get that ball more than 25 yards out. And listen, I feel kind of bad for the guy. Like, he brutally gets hit and tears his UCL, and like, so his elbow's screwed for life. Like, now he's probably not going to go to the NFL, whatever else. Like, but like, he also has very poor decision making and is not accurate. And like, there's no world where you can convince me that Carson Beck is a good quarterback. He was propped up by a really elite, talented Georgia team for multiple years, and even propped up by a very elite Miami team. My fear was not about Carson Beck winning this game. And like, we get down to that last possession, right? Okay, we're only up 6, whatever else. My fear was about Malachi Toney crossing
Yes.
somebody up and
Yep.
him winning that game. That guy I
which he
was
did.
very, very keen on, but I knew all that meant was Carson Beck was either going to hand it off to him or throw it to him 5 yards away. And then that was up to us to go tackle.
2 touchdowns were totally Malachi Toney. Like, the touchdown that he actually caught and a nice play, ran it into for a touchdown, and then the one where they fake pitched to him, and we were so concerned about him, it just opened up the Fletcher to
Yeah.
get another touchdown. Tim, I'll admit, when we got the ball back, I was already, like, so nervous and ready to puke when Miami got the ball back down 6. I just was like, we had just talked
Yeah,
about Carson
this
Smith,
would be
the fall.
heartbreaking.
This is heartbreaking. But Carson Beck always delivers. He just always delivers. And we bailed them out. They should have, like, not even gotten off 4th down, but we bailed them out. But then that duck that he threw, that Jamari Sharp caught probably 8 yards closer
It
to
was
his
so
own quarterback
short.
than the receiver was.
Because like he was kind of open, like he was solidly open. We were converging the safety, and Sharp was trying to catch up, but that's a fluttering ball that just goes to the cornerback. There's like an end zone camera view of the interception, and you can just see the Miami wide receiver. I can't even remember who it is who is running there, and he's just like running. And this is why you should be subscribed to Kirkwood and Dunn on YouTube, because I'm doing the impression. And he's like looking back, and he sees it start to fall, the ball come up short, and he goes, you can see this guy's like, oh, it's fucking picked. And he's just like slowly turns his helmet, kind of keeps, jogging off. Like, that was it, man. Carson couldn't get me the damn ball. It was so funny.
Buffton Prime, like, all week was like, Carson Beck can't read zone defenses. Like, that was his whole thing. And like, he had forever in the backfield. We actually we did sack him, but we did not get the pass rush we had been getting. Credit to their offensive line, even though I think that was a little bit by design. Like, we were truly we're gonna drop, we're gonna make sure you're not hitting the outsides, make sure you're not running, and then like let Carson Beck throw. Carson Beck like staring at our defense like, I wish I had the all-22 because I just want to watch him see open and then like turn away because he just can't see that pass is going to be open. And like his only big plays were literal like 9-second hold, or like not holding, but like 9 seconds scrambling around. And then like one guy finally gets open and he is able to do it. He had one nice pass He had one nice
Yeah.
pass throughout the whole game. He is a terrible quarterback. And I just before we just started recording this evening on Tuesday, I saw that Duke is suing Darian Mensah, and I'm hoping it happens. Like the Williams thing, like happens again, and like they get another. Any
Yeah,
other
Miami
quarterback, I think, wins that game. I honestly believe that. Like that's. I won't go that far
Gunnar
because Indiana,
Stockton wins
like
that game. Like, Gunnar
Gunnar
Stockton wins
Stockton
that game
wins that game.
for sure.
Yes,
Trinidad Chambliss wins that game. Trinidad
yes.
Chambliss wins that game. Like,
And I want to be very clear, not because Miami's better than Indiana, but just how Indiana played that game. If that game plays out
yes. Right.
again, that's
Right.
how that it's there. But they have Carson Beck. Like that Miami fan, another Miami fan was on this morning. He's like, you got bailed out by Carson Beck. He's your quarterback.
Buddy, you
And you
chose
picked
him.
him. You
Buddy,
picked him.
that's why we were talking about SMU and Louisville beating your ass. 'Cause, yeah, you got to roll on
God.
Carson Beck.
Like to say Indiana won just because of Carson Beck and like act like that is a diss on Indiana, buddy, that is a diss on you. You chose Carson Beck. You could have had Fernando Mendoza.
Yes.
You chose
easily.
Carson Beck. God, they just the dumbest people and
Yeah.
and coping.
Could
And
you
we
imagine?
tried to tell you. We tried to tell you.
This is unrelated, but it came up to me. We are already an hour into this, but it doesn't matter. Could you imagine if this Miami team had Cam Ward at quarterback?
Oh yeah, they would have been elite.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
Yeah,
But
because Cam Ward
they
had the worst defense.
It had the
associated
worst
with him.
defense last year for Miami.
Yeah.
They got it figured out, but like, man, they're not going to be good next year. I think all those guys are going pro.
I mean, this is all about timing, and it's something that Indiana's got to be super mindful of because, like, if you're gonna play the whole transfer quarterback 1 year thing, if you get a Josh Hoover and he is more like Carson Beck than he's like Fernando Mendoza and Cam Ward, and you have elite players around him, but he can't deliver, like you've wasted a year. Now,
Yeah.
Indiana forever for the next probably decade. There's no such thing as wasting a year. We won a national title. Like that's the thing. It's like flags fly forever. So it's there. And Mario Cristobal has still never won a national title despite having some of the most resources in college football. So having said that, Josh Hoover is not as good as what they have. I'll probably look at it and be like, oh well, man, the transfer quarterback market wasn't very good last year. Now, do I think Hoover is still going to be good? Yes, I do. But it is what it is. And we have plenty of time to talk about that. Any final thoughts on the game, Tim?
No, it was a game that I thought was possible. Yep, we said it earlier, but like, yeah, Miami's D line, it's similar to what I made the comment earlier when I watched Ted Ginn just take back a punt return. Ted Ginn, like literally one of the fastest football players of all time. But like that is the real thing. Like the blue chip ratio and people talk about talent. To some degree, the distribution of talent, there really actually isn't that much between a 4-star and a 3-star. There's really not. But a few guys who are at that elite kind of 5-star, really elite NFL top 15 pick type of level, that is a difference. And Moton in particular for Miami, Bain, yeah, they kicked everybody's ass. We've cycled in Benson and Ajani. They kicked Bray Lynch's ass. They kicked Pat Coogan's ass. Carter Smith got his ass. Like that offensive line, it was a bad game. They were not good, but that's a little bit of the difference because Khalil Benson's not going to the NFL. I don't think Ajani's going to go to the NFL. Like I think Carter Smith will. I think he's going to come back, but he said that after the game. But like Carter Smith has the talent to, but like that's the one guy. I don't know if Pat Coogan's going to make it. Like okay, you can be coached up as much as you want, and you could be schemed up, and everything can be great, and you can have great execution. But a dude is a dude, and that's where I think for the Indiana fans that are really kind of digging in now into football, when you heard those narratives and you were like, "Nah, you guys are all wrong. Look at us." Hey, remember this. Remember that Miami defensive line. That's that pinnacle that is actually really hard to reach and can be a real problem or a bonus, right? If we get that, right? So
Yeah.
that I think that's my thought about, we're champions. This is great. What an unbelievable year. Unbelievable team. I'm gonna miss watching all these guys play football. But I'm excited actually about the growth that Indiana football still has in front of it.
The biggest mismatch of the national championship game was Carson Beck, Fernando Mendoza. The
Yeah.
second biggest mismatch was the graphic package during TV timeouts showing Indiana NFL stars versus Miami's NFL stars. Like, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'll just say it. So, like, uh, but we're closing that gap. And where do we go from here? Tim and I will have Sunday where we'll be back on Sunday to do our normal podcast, and we'll have a lot of future talk. We'll talk about the Alberto Mendoza committing to Georgia Tech news. We'll talk about probably the worst news, but we want to focus on the positive, was Derek Owings going to Tennessee, but in SIG we trust to find and identify you guys. Maybe by that time we'll have a new strength coach. But to leave on a positive and where we go from here, go look at Rivals on 3, whatever Steve Wiltfong's on now, and go read about Indiana's Junior Day that they're having this weekend, and the number of recruits and
High school
the
juniors.
high school juniors that are coming. Folks, it's over. It's
Yeah.
over. It's over. Like,
Yeah.
it's over
That's
for the
why I
rest of
said we're
college
winning
football.
3 out of the next 4 national
Yeah.
titles. Like Cignetti, he's got us, man. He got us. Maybe we'll call it luck. Pam Whitten and Scott Dolson we're talking all about the hire and all the traits they looked for and everything else. And I'm not going to tell them they're wrong, or whatever. But I do think there is some degree of luck, and we did it. We got the coach who knows how to coach elite college football. Nobody else wanted him. That's everybody else's problem to go figure out now. But I'm so excited because what we have identified early on is that Cignetti is the guy. He's the guy to lead the program. He's going to bring us to new places before, and we are not letting a single barrier be put in his place. Like whatever he needs to do, we are providing the support, and it's so clear what that means for the team, the athletic department, the university, the alumni community, the local Bloomington, city community, Indiana, like the Insignetti we trust. Absolutely.
You can follow Tim at TB Hoosiers. You can follow me at ST McGee. You can follow us on all accounts, Instagram, TikTok. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Spotify, follow along. Apple Podcasts, follow along. We're at Kirkwood and Dunn on all platforms. Indiana is 16-0. Let's go.